Hello, everybody. I am here today to talk with you about items sold. I'm going to get right into this. I'm going to do about 20 items that we've sold over the last week, and I'm going to tell you where I've sold them, what we paid for them, and what we sold them for. I can also give you our profit margin. You can keep in mind that I calculate profit margin with a 30% upcharge over my cost or over my selling price, because I figure fees plus fees that I have to pay on shipping, and then my overhead of people that I have to pay around here, my software that I use, and things like that. So I always figure 30% of my selling price as overhead and selling costs. So let's get right into this. Okay, the first item that we sold that I'm going to show you are these glasses. So this is a set of 4 Indiana glass, blue, teal colored thumb print king. They're called King's Crown. I listed them as 4 Indiana glass, teal blue King's Crown thumbprint stemmed water goblets. These are the short ones. They're 5.5 inches tall. And these have been in our inventory for a little while. We listed them on $4.29. We paid $4 for the set, and we sold them on eBay for $25.49. That gave us a profit margin of 54%. The next item that you're going to see is this denim cotton shirt. So we are just starting to get more into clothing, and this denim cotton shirt is from DCC. It's an extra large, and it's a button down with button on the sleeves. It's a Western style shirt. We listed it as a DCC Missy denim cotton shirt blouse, extra large, blue long sleeve, ruffled cups, Western wear. We sold this on eBay for $17. We took an offer on it. The cost on it was $1. We've done some closet clothes or closet buyouts, so we've got a lot of clothes that only cost us like $1. This was listed on $6.24, and it sold on $9.29 with a profit margin of about 64%. The next item we sold is something I always tell people don't buy. Avon. Don't buy Avon. It's an Avon candle. I don't know how I ended up with it. It was probably in a box lot. It went up on eBay on $5.19. We sold it on $9.30. It was I assigned a 50-cent cost to it because I probably found it in a box lot, and we sold it for $9. Obviously, it sat for a while, and that's okay, but it is a Christmas candle, so at least we got it sold. Honestly, these are the types of things that I would normally take to Peddler's Mall with us and not put it up on eBay. The next item we sold is a jewelry case. Now, this is something that we got from one of the bins. We used to go to the bins occasionally, but honestly, we just kind of quit going because we found it mostly to be junky, and we're not interested in buying that kind of stuff. But this was one that we came across that actually nobody grabbed, and we got lucky and got it. This is a jewelry case. It's we listed it as jewelry case, travel, handmade, PU leather, velvet 3-layer tray organizer display. These were handmade jewelry cases. They're actually really, really nice. We paid $7 for it at the bins. We did buy it back in January, and it took a while to sell. We listed it kind of high at over $100. They're selling actually, and it was new. They're selling on Amazon for about $120, I think. We took an $80 offer on it. I am very happy with that because we paid $7 for it. And that gave us a 61% profit. So that was a nice buy. But again, the bins are not someplace that we normally go because we're vintage sellers, and that's what we like to sell. The next item I'm showing you is this witch tree topper. Now, we picked her up on our trip. So if you watched the video that I did about our trip to Michigan, we got this witch tree topper then. We listed her on $9.15, and she sold on $9.25. We listed her with the title of Spooky Witch Tree Topper Figurine Crystal Ball Halloween 17 by 6 Tabletop Decor. Now, she could sit on top of a tree if you had a Halloween tree, or she could be a tabletopper. She was really cute. She wasn't really expensive. We paid $2 for her, and we sold her for $16. That gave us a 57% profit margin. We were happy with that. The next item, this is a funny one, and I put this in here because I wanted to show you that you really can sell anything at, if you're patient or if you use the right keywords. This is a paper mache mask. Now, there is no doubt that my timing of listing this helped tremendously, but it's not even a mask unless you want to cut out the eyeballs. It's really kind of a door or a wall decoration. We listed it as paper mache, scary, creepy face, red mask with 2-horn wall art, hand painted vintage. Now, this item was handmade by my daughter a long, long time ago. And we tried to give it to her and she didn't want it. And we didn't want it. And I said, let's put it on eBay and see if we can sell it. And we did. She made it when she was in elementary school in the late 90s, early 2000s. So we just thought it was funny. Again, the time of year that we listed it helped tremendously. So this item cost us nothing. We sold it for $16. We listed it on 9/2 and it sold on 9/26 on eBay. Okay, this little guy is a little leprechaun and he's a Declan's Rurarcan. He's a little Irish guy. He's the putter by Roman ink. He's Finian's Blarney Stone leprechaun from Ireland. He came with his box. I picked him up on the 127 sale when we were out in August. And he came with the box. He was $1. So that was why I picked him up. We sold him on eBay for $23.99. He did come with this box. We listed him on 8/27 and he sold on 9/28. Okay, next we have a Fenton perfume bottle. This is an optic item. So this is Fenton Optic. And it is a perfume. It did have the stopper with it. And we listed that on 9/7. We sold it on 9/27. We paid about $2 for it. It came in a box lot with a whole bunch of glass that we got. This was from a vintage store that was closing that we bought some stuff from. And we sold it for $25 on eBay and we made 62% on that. And if you want to know the title that we used on that, it was Fenton Glass Perfume Bottle White French Opalescent Lattice Optic Squat, and then the size 4.25. So there's that. Okay, next we have a pretty inexpensive item again. Again, this is from our trip that we took. We went into this little store when we were on our trip, and they had a table full of tea kettles, and they were $1 each. Most of them were beat up, but this one was in pretty good shape. It was it's metal. Wasn't anything fancy, wasn't anything special. It's tea kettle, blooming strawberry print enamel, 7-inch with wood accents. It had a wood handle and a wood knob on the top of it. We paid $1 for this. We listed it on 9/14. We sold it on 9/27, and we took an offer for it for $15, and that was fine. We made about 63% on that, and that worked out really well. The next item you're looking at here is a reverse painted mirror. This was in inventory for a while. We listed this December 18th of 2024, and we just sold it this year, obviously, on 9/27. We paid $30 for this, but we took an offer on it for $130. We listed it with the title that was Antique Reverse Painted Scene Wall Mirror Guided Frame, Gilded Frame, I'm sorry, and then the size 1800s. This was kind of a hard one to list. It had some damage on the wood on the top, but the glass and the mirroring was in good shape, so we wanted to save it and get it out there. And we're happy with the price that we got on it. With the 130 sale, we ended up making 47% on that, and that's good. My goal is always to try to make over 40% on every item that we sell. Next, we sold these 3 little global birds. Now, I will pick these up all day long because they're easy to list and they're easy to sell. They sell really quick generally. You're not going to make a ton of money on them, but they just sell. They're global from Germany. I picked these up. We listed them on 9/17. They sold on 9/26. We paid $1 a piece for them. There were 3 of them, so we paid $3. We took an offer for $18 and we made 53%, and they were gone quick. Next is this Limoges platter. I sat on this for a little while. This one we listed on 7/8 and we sold it on 9/25. This item, I got some real low ball offers on it for a while, and I would not take those. I kind of sat on it for a while. I did only pay $5 for it, but I knew that it had value, and so I just let it sit for a while. I did finally take an offer of $45 for it on 9/25 and was happy with that. I had been actually talking to that particular buyer off and on for a little while. This was just such a beautiful piece, and sometimes I get stubborn. So there you go. Next are some matchbooks. Now, I only gave you a couple of them here with 2 dates, but we've sold quite a few matchbooks over the last month or so. I found this jar that we've had just forever sitting on a shelf, and we never listed any of it. And it had a bunch of old matchbooks from Las Vegas. So we went through them, and here's a couple of them that we sold. So we sold these MGM Grand matchbooks, and we had quite a few of them, and they're still selling. We started listing all of these matchbooks at the end of August, and we've sold like 5 or 6 books since then, and we still have some more listed. The MGM Grands, we've sold a couple of them at $12 each. And Moulin Rouge, which was also an old casino in Vegas, we've sold for $15. Those are sold out. And then there's some others that have sold as well. And we still have some listed, and we still have some to list. So we're getting through them. But matchbooks, if you've got matchbooks, especially if they're old Vegas, keep an eye on them, see. And if you've got a lot of them, that's what helped us, is that we had more than one of everything. I don't like listing things that are less than $15-20, but when I have 5 or 6 of them, I don't mind as much. And quite honestly, I hate giving things like that to Goodwill. Absolutely hate it, because they'll just throw it away, they'll ruin it. And in my opinion, that's throwing away a piece of history. So I don't like that. So the next thing you're looking at is this Tollware shoebox. This is a wood shoebox that was painted with like a Tollware look. And I bought it on 8/31, or we listed it on 8/31. And I actually bought this on Whatnot as part of a sale that I was, watching someone show, and bought it on there. So when we buy on Whatnot, our profit margin is always lower. But that's okay. I kind of enjoy it. It's something to run in the background sometimes when I'm working. We got lucky on this one because there weren't a lot of people bidding on it. It was towards the end of this person's show, so we did pretty well on it. We listed it on 8/31. We sold it on 9/26. We paid $12 for it, and we sold it for $41.99. So we made 41% on it. So that was pretty good. I was happy with that. Oh, and by the way, it went home because it went overseas, so I was really happy. I love when things go home. We just had a vase that we sold this week. It was a Rookwood pottery vase. It was beautiful. It was cherry blossom pottery vase. I didn't put it on this list, but we sold that on eBay this week, I believe. And it went home to Cincinnati. So I was very happy to see that it went home back to the Cincinnati area, because that's where Rookwood pottery is located. Next, we have this globe. This globe has been the bane of my existence. It's been a pain in the butt. It's sold a couple of times. Once it got canceled. Once we had to cancel it. And it's just been a pain. We had to cancel it because it was somebody overseas that bought it, and we actually couldn't ship it overseas. We were not allowed to ship it to their country. It was forbidden. There are certain things that can't go to certain countries, and this happened to be one of them, so we had to cancel the sale. But this one, we listed this on 12/27. We sold it on 9/27. I was just glad to get rid of it, to be honest. I was actually going to take it to Peddler's Mall and put like $20 on it and get it gone. It was raised relief, so it's a nice globe. But globes just don't do very well. They sit for a long time. People don't want them. They take up a lot of space, and everybody'd rather use Google Maps, I guess. I love globes personally. I love looking at them. I love playing around with them. I love having maps. There's a map behind me on my wall. If you look, it's a map of the Caribbean, actually. So anyway, this globe, I only paid $2 for it. We sold it on Etsy for $35, and I was happy for it to go away. So that made me happy. We still made really good money on it, and it's gone. It's out of here. And we are into Etsy sales now. The Tollware shoebox also was sold on Etsy, by the way. The next thing you're looking at here is Cambridge glass. This is a gravy boat. This sat in inventory for a really, really, really long time. And then I finally remembered to list it on Etsy. And once I listed it on Etsy, it sold pretty quick. It's been in our inventory for years, and I mean years. It wasn't listed for a long time because I just liked it and it was on the shelf and I would look at it. And then I put it up on eBay about a year and a half or 2 years ago. Got no bites, nothing. And then 2 months ago, month and a half ago, about the end of July, I listed it on Etsy. It was I listed it on there on 7/25, and we sold it on 9/29. So 2 months. We paid $10 for this way, 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 way back when, and I sold it for $65.99. So 55% profit. I'm happy with that. It was the liner, the boat, and the little scoop. I was really shocked that it didn't sell sooner. But sometimes people on eBay, honestly, I don't know if they're just looking for really good bargains or what. But sometimes glass on eBay just doesn't do well, and I can do much better with it on Etsy. The next thing that we sold on Etsy is this woven corn husk basket. We listed this on 8/27 and we sold it on 9/30. This cost us $4.22. It came in a whole lot of baskets that we bought. We took some of those down to Peddler's Mall. We put some up on eBay and some up on Etsy. We sold this for $37 and we made a 58% profit on it. And then the last thing here from Etsy is this musing bowl, and I picked this up at a picker sale for $1. It was just sitting there, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute," and got it. Paid $1 for it. It came from Musing, Michigan, and the wooden bowls that are from that area are pretty collectible. This one's a little beat up on the inside, but that's okay. It could be refinished by whoever bought it. I left it alone because I like to leave patinas alone on things. Some people like it, some people don't. If you don't, you can fix it. We listed this on 9/15. It sold on 9/27. Like I said, we only paid $1 for it, and we sold it for $34. So, and again, on Etsy. So we made a 61% profit. And then the last thing I'm going to show you here is this little Kermit costume. This thing, I swear, we've had this in our inventory for more than 2 years. We listed it for Halloween a couple of years ago on eBay. We put it up for like $15, could not sell it. So we just let it sit in our store. And then last year we promoted it again and put it out, pulled it back up and relisted on eBay for Halloween. And again, nothing. Now I know our pictures weren't the greatest on it, but it's a toddler's costume. We don't have a toddler's mannequin, so it was kind of hard for us to do much with it. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, I put it on Poshmark, sold immediately. I listed this on 9/23 on Poshmark. It sold on 9/28 on Poshmark. We listed it. We said that we paid $1 for it. I took a $19 offer on it. I was perfectly happy with that because, yay, it's been sold and it's Halloween. I didn't want it to sit for another year. So those are a few of the items that we've sold over the last week or so. I went as far back as 9/26, so just a few days worth of sales there. I am not going to do these a lot. I'll do them maybe once or twice a month. They take a little bit of time to gather all the information, although we do have a tool that makes it pretty easy, but I do have to pull the pictures out and get those in here. So if you find these helpful, let me know. Maybe I'll do a few more. If you think they're useless, you can let me know that too. Anyway, I'll see you on the back road. Bye.